A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant call to action, former Bank of England Deputy Governor Charlie Bean has urged current Chancellor Rachel Reeves to widen the fiscal headroom against her financial rules. This suggestion comes amid growing concerns over the slim margin of less than £10 billion that has characterized the government's financial planning. Bean expressed that this narrow margin has forced the Chancellor into a position where she must fine-tune tax and spending plans to align with the Office for Budget Responsibilities (OBR) forecasts that extend up to 5 years into the future. During an interview on BBC Radio 4's Today program, Bean emphasized the enormity of government spending, which stands at approximately £1.25 trillion, making the £10 billion margin seem minuscule, especially when considering typical forecasting errors. He stated, "Government spending is about £1.25 trillion, so £10 billion is a small number, and it is a small number in the context of typical forecasting errors." Bean further elaborated that Reeves should aim for a larger margin of headroom, noting that previous chancellors have typically operated with a buffer of around £30 billion. He pointed out that the current tight margin makes it easy for fiscal numbers to veer off course, compelling the Chancellor to make continuous adjustments to taxes to meet long-term forecasts. The former deputy governor criticized the decision to operate with such a narrow margin, labeling it as the original sin of Reeves's fiscal strategy. In her previous budget last October, Reeves implemented a historic £40 billion tax increase, with the majority of the funds allocated to public services. However, this left her with a fragile fiscal position that is now under threat, especially as the headroom is expected to diminish further before the upcoming spring statement in March. This precarious situation has already led to a scramble for savings, resulting in £5 billion cuts to disability benefits, a move that was ultimately abandoned following backlash from Labour backbenchers. Reeves's team has privately acknowledged that the limited headroom has contributed to the challenges faced over the last year, although they argue that the poor fiscal legacy inherited from the previous Conservative government left them with few options. As the autumn budget approaches, experts predict that the Chancellor will need to consider further tax increases to bridge the financial gaps created by recent policy reversals, including changes to disability benefits and adjustments to the winter fuel allowance. Reeves has maintained a resolute stance, stating that she is cracking on with the job following a tumultuous period marked by instability in bond markets and speculation about her future in the role. To create the additional £20 billion of fiscal headroom that Bean has recommended, Reeves may have to implement tax increases equivalent to 2p on both the basic and higher rates of income tax. The political landscape remains tense as the Chancellor navigates these challenging fiscal waters, with implications for public services and the broader economy hanging in the balance. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.